Hi, and welcome to Govs TV and 91.9 Public Affairs. I'm Rebecca Nanney, and with the end of spring break comes lots of activities taking place at night and later in the day, and usually outdoors. So that means you need to be well informed about sexual assault situations and how to prepare yourself if those were to occur while you were alone or if you were a bystander of those situations. Joining me today with information is Sharon from the Sexual Assault Center in Nashville and Valerie Guzman from the Sexual Assault Center of Clarksville, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming in today and talking to me about this stuff.
Thank you for having us.
First, I would like to talk about the new project you guys have. It's the campaign called I See, I Do, and I understand that it is a correlation with your organization and the Tennessee Coalition to End Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault, as well as the Department of Health?
Yes.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about that project? Like, what do you want it to do? What do you see it to accomplish in the future?
Okay, so the Department of Health provided funding for the state to develop a statewide bystander intervention project, and so they gave money to programs that are in each grand region, so West, East, and Middle. We happen to get the money for the Middle Tennessee region. And so the goal is to just increase awareness about bystander intervention and trying to get people engaged around the issue of sexual assault. And I think it's easier for people to engage around sexual assault if they see themselves as a helper as opposed to as a survivor, right? I don't think anybody wants to see themselves as someone who's been victimized by crime. But you can always see yourself as the person who sees something, who has the opportunity to do something.
Yeah.
And so it's really about kind of creating a more supportive, caring, respectful community where when we do see things that we respond. And and I don't think it's like outside the norm for us to see things and pass over. I think the bystander effect actually says that people are less likely to intervene when they're in a group than if they are by themselves. And so if you're by yourself and you see something, there's no one else to help, you probably say, oh, I need to do something because there's no other way to pass the buck. But in a group, if you're in a college campus and you're all out at a party and you see something, how likely is it that you think, oh, there's somebody else to get it? I don't have to get involved. So with using the bystander approach to get involved, we're saying everybody has a role in helping the situation out. And it should be your job to figure out how you play your role. What is your role? Which way, how do you best fit in disrupting these situations? And everybody has their own style. You might be the quiet one, so maybe your thing may be to call someone and delegate, or you may be the person who's a little bit more bold, who can directly intervene, or you know the people involved and you feel comfortable directly intervening. I think the goal in bystander intervention is first, be safe yourself, and then second, get involved. Yep. So however you find a way to do that, whether it's distract, delegate, direct, or delay, find a way to get involved and disrupt things.
Okay, and this project started this year, correct?
Yes.
And has it been successful so far? Have you guys gotten a lot of bystander intervention happening?
Well, we don't know if it's a whole lot happening, but we do think that people are more aware of how they can get involved and that they should get involved. And so just increasing awareness is first. Yes.
Conversations
and having a conversation. Because it's very cultural to figure out how to get involved in something. There are communities of people that say snitches get stitches. And so how do you get involved and not get a stitch, right?
Yeah.
So being able to have those kinds of conversations and figuring out what your place is in it. We've had some great success with this because we had a very diverse approach to getting the word out. We had graffiti ads up in some of the restaurants in downtown Nashville and in the Bridgestone Arena. We had billboards here in Clarksville and billboards in Nashville. We also had bus signs in both cities. So, so we had a lot of people saying, oh, I saw your sign. That was one of the things that we wanted people to do if they saw their sign, saw a sign to let us know either on social media or email.
With a selfie, like, hey, look, I saw. Just make it quick,
That's
connecting.
a great way to get that word out there is social media and, of course, just encouraging you know.
And
you see
sometimes
us.
sometimes it has to be where we're stepping outside of that box. I mean, how many times have we heard something, we're like, oh, someone else is probably going to call 911. It will not hurt 911 if we all called.
Yeah.
Then it's 100% that someone called.
Right.
Because the reality is, if we all think somebody else did it, the chances are that nobody did it. And then how much worse is that situation? And then we're just like, no one called. That guilt that you have on yourself is way bigger than if you just take that one step. And it doesn't have to be huge. It can just be a simple call.
Right.
I completely understand. Well, that seems like a great project. Are you guys looking or offering any volunteer opportunities to help with the ICID project?
There will be some opportunities in Nashville with ICID because the other part of this rollout is going to be a safe bar project. So we're asking bars and restaurants that serve alcohol to participate in creating awareness, and so we will do a bystander intervention training. And then from that, they'll get a window cling that they can hang in their windows saying that we've been trained. And not necessarily saying we've been trained to like be the Superman of
the
like,
bars.
sexual
Yeah.
assault, right? Detection, right? But we are, they will be saying, okay, we acknowledge that we are now more aware of it and we're paying attention to the role that alcohol plays in this issue. And so, with that, they'll get a window cling to hang on that says safe bar. And we also have these drug detection coasters that we're going to give to the bars and restaurants so that if they suspect something, that they have a way of being able to test on the spot whether or not something's going on.
That's great.
Yes.
That is great. That's a really good initiative, especially with young women going out to bars and being more brave, you know, going alone or going with friends. I know there have been a lot of things to help women try to detect if there's any date rape type drugs in their drinks with the nail polish and the coasters.
Right.
Yes.
So I think that's great. I noticed on your website that you guys have opportunities for young professionals and specifically high schoolers to volunteer. Do you have any volunteer opportunities geared specifically for college girls or people in general, men, women, anybody interested between the high school and young professional ages?
On high school level, we only have one opportunity, and that's our Youth Advisory Council. And so our goal with them is to get them involved in the issue and developing strategies for awareness and education for themselves, right? And then on the college level, we have several volunteer opportunities. It could be as much as an internship, if that's what you need, and it could be a HAP volunteer, which is Hospital Accompaniment Program. And we are launching one here in Clarksville, so there will be a big need for a lot of volunteers for that. And so what their job will be is to come in and walk with a survivor right after the attack through the rape kit and all the other things that go on. So they'll be trained about how to be that empathetic, sympathetic person and ear. It's not that they need to know everything about the legality part of it, but they do need to understand how to walk the survivor through. Because it could be quite daunting.
Absolutely, and it's just to let them know, you know what, the police are going to ask you questions, and they're going to ask you a lot, and some of the answers you may not know, but they don't know you don't know until they ask them. So just be ready, and anytime you need a moment, the police are going to give you that, and I'll come back in and sit with you. That's mostly what they're doing, is to help them walk through that. What are they going to do next? Because sometimes our survivors, this will be the first time they've ever maybe been in an emergency room, the first time they've ever had to deal with law enforcement. The first time they've ever had a sexual encounter, and we're not even, you know, all of it's new. So it's been real evasive. They've had a rape kit done, you know, they've had, you know, all these different, and somebody sitting down who's calm, who's going to say, this is what's going to happen next, and preparing them and allowing them to have that control. And that's what our job of our HAP volunteers. So we're really looking forward to starting that here in Clarksville and getting people involved.
Do you have an estimated time for when that will be starting in Clarksville?
Yeah, I'd like to have that for you, but as far as there's so many different components. So the first thing we've done is we put together a SART, which is getting our sexual assault response team. And then the next thing we're going to do is getting the hospital involved, and they're already on our SART team. So that is our moving forward goal. I would like to say 2018 would be our time to roll it out, because that would be a conservative but exciting time if you move it too fast, then you have working pieces that are not going to work well. And we want them to work well because
Yeah.
we have such a strong need here in Clarksville. So,
Okay,
And
awesome.
I am going to say too that the HAP program is already in place in Nashville. So if they wanted to go for the training, I think there's one coming up in May.
Okay,
So they wouldn't have to wait until that SART got ready if they wanted to begin the training process. Or if they live in Nashville and want to work with that one that's already in place.
yeah.
okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I have one other event that I heard you guys were doing. You're doing the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes on campus here.
It's a walk a mile in their shoes.
In their
Because the one thing we want to do is take the stigma that rape does not just happen to women. Rape happens to all of us.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, we took it and made it a walk in their shoes. And so that's going to be March 24th at 6 p.m. right here at the football stadium. So that's pretty exciting. And Austin P is sponsoring this. They are charging, they're charging ahead with this, and all the proceeds go 100% of any cash tickets you buy come to the Sexual Assault Center here in Clarksville, Tennessee. So I'm super excited. I can't even wait.
Are any of the local organizations on campus helping out with this?
Oh
Or
my
is it-
gosh, I wish I would have. Yes, there's actually a couple of sororities and fraternities that have done that. And then some of them are even just doing teams. So I'd like to see who's going to come out this Friday and see what teams are going to show their colors.
That sounds great. As an Austin P student, I'm really proud to see that we're working to help you guys and to put the
Absolutely.
word out there, because it is something that I'm very passionate about, bringing awareness to sexual assault. And our campus does a good job about doing that, especially our feminist majority leadership on campus. They do great with the Clothesline Project and the Vagina
Yes.
Monologues and stuff.
Yes.
So really proud to have that happening, and I'm super excited. And what was the date for that again?
It is March 24th, and it's going to be at 6 o'clock here at the football stadium. I want to say the name, but I'm going to mess it up.
Forterra?
That one.
Perfect. And one more thing I heard you guys were doing was a big payback campaign in May. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
What I know of the big payback, because that's really a national entity, but you can designate money for the Clarksville office. It's one day where people can call in or go online and give to your charity of choice. And so that's what the big payback is. And that's just another way which allows people to give how they want to without going to an event or do anything outside of just clicking on and giving to a charity of their choice.
And I want to say it's a national event, actually, that all of the charities across the country are involved in, and it's like a great way of fundraising, like all in one day. And so, yeah.
Well, that sounds great. Is there anything else you guys would like to share about what you're doing in the upcoming months, or anything you need volunteers for, or anything about the I See I Do campaign that we haven't covered yet so far?
Well, I think I want to just talk about the Sexual Assault Center in general and what we do and how we do it, and I think what makes us unique. We provide education, advocacy, and counseling for people who have been sexually abused and their non-offending family members. So I think what makes us unique is that that's the only issue that we deal with. Where many other programs have domestic violence and sexual violence, we are strictly sexual violence, and we have therapists that have a variety of experiences. We have some we have pet therapists, art therapists, play therapists, individual, EMDR, if you know what that is.
We got group therapy.
Group therapy.
I mean, we just go through we can meet the needs of whoever is coming in, and what we don't have, the passion that is in our offices, both the Nashville and Clarksville office, is so intense. As we want to help so badly that we'll look for what it is to make them whole, help them feel whole, because we already know that they are. They just got to get it on the outside.
Yeah.
So it's really about helping people develop these coping strategies and coping mechanisms by deconstructing the trauma, right? And so I think that is the thing that makes us unique, and that is our mission, our goal, and our passion, to see people whole, families whole.
Oh yeah.
I love it. That is a great passion to have. And I love that you guys get to do that, not only for yourselves, you get that accomplishment feeling, but also you're helping so many women and so many men out there who don't have anywhere else to go or people to talk about this situation. what is the website that somebody can visit if they are looking to volunteer or reach out for help?
It would be sacenter.org.
Okay, and can they contact the Clarksville office from that same website?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And is there a number that you guys would like to give out to our audience today, who may be looking to call you guys for assistance, or do you just suggest they go to the website?
We do have a 1-800 crisis support line number for anyone who is feeling triggered. That's 24/7 and nationwide. And
That is 1-800-879-1999. So that's 1-800-879-1999.
Perfect, awesome. I just want to thank you guys again for coming in today. Hopefully we can meet again and talk more in detail, especially after the A Walk a Mile in Their Shoe campaign. I'm sure everybody on campus will be looking forward to that coming up in the coming
I
weeks.
want them, I double dog dare them to show up. I double
They
dog,
heard it.
double
They heard
dog
it.
dare them. And plus, what I do want to tell you is that everyone who buys the tickets, they get a $5 off of Belk's, because Belk's has given me a coupon. So if they get a $5 ticket or a $10 ticket, they're going to get a $5 coupon, which means they can go to Belk's and buy socks if they need to, or whatever accessories they're needing. So Belk's is also contributing to our
Perfect.
walk.
Perfect, that sounds amazing. I just want to thank you guys again for
Thank
coming in
you.
today. Sharon,
Valerie.
thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you,
and
Rebecca.
This has been a great and informative show for us today. So thank you for watching Govs TV and listening to 91.9 Public Affairs. This is Rebecca Nanney.